Hello, Good Shepherd and Saints Francis and John. I'm Father Lin Win with Saints Francis and John. This week we prepare with the Gospel message for the fourth Sunday of Lent. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. John. As Jesus passed by, he saw a man blind from birth. He spat on the ground and made clay with the saliva, and smeared the clay on his eyes, and said to him, "Go, wash in the pool of Siloam," which means sent. So he went and washed, and came back able to see. His neighbors and those who had seen him earlier as a beggar said, "Isn't this the one who used to sit and beg?" Some said, "It is." But others said, "No, he just looks like him." He said, "I am." They brought the one who was once blind to the Pharisees. Now Jesus had made clay and opened his eyes on the Sabbath. So then the Pharisee also asked him how he was able to see. He said to them, "He put clay on my eyes and I washed, and now I can see." So some of the Pharisees said, "This man is not from God, because he does not keep the Sabbath." But others said, "How can a sinful man do such signs?" And there was a division among them. So they said to the blind man again, "What do you have to say about him, since he opened your eyes?" He said, "He is a prophet." They answered and said to him, "You were born totally in sin, and are you trying to teach us?" Then they threw him out. When Jesus heard that they had thrown him out, he found him and said, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" He answered and said, "Who is he, sir, that I may believe in him?" Jesus said to him, "You have seen him, and the one speaking with you is he." He said, "I do believe, Lord," and he worshiped him. Friends, in this lengthy gospel, the display of the cycle of sins that spiraled the entire humanity with blame, doubt, mistrust, accusation, denial, and so much more. The man born blind was the only one who can see clearly in the entire gospel after Jesus cured him. The way that he was cured by Jesus is worth reflecting, because in many ways we are being cured sacramentally through the sacraments that Christ had given to the church. So listen this part. He spat on the ground and made clay with the saliva, and smeared the clay on his eyes, and said to him, "Go wash in the pool of Siloam," which means sent. So he went and washed and came back able to see. Friends, Jesus, the Son of God, injected his DNA onto the substance of dirt that reflected upon the story of creation when God made Adam and Eve. But God didn't breathe into the clay. He spat his saliva onto it. The word saliva is interesting. It's similar to the word salvus in Latin, which means health, or where we get the word salvation. In other words, God smeared the salves onto humanity. Afterward, receiving the salves of salvation, the blind man was sent to wash in the pool of Siloam, which means sent. In other words, he was sent onto the mission of Christ. He now had a purpose and participated with Christ's mission. The blindness of this man has been lifted because he can see his true purposeness in life as participation in God's salvific love. This act of healing blindness is the same sevenfold of the sacrament which heal us from our blindness of sins and bring us to light of our vocations. Concretely, in the sacrament of the Eucharist, we approach the Eucharist in our vulnerability in sins and being commissioned to be sent at the end of the Mass when we allow Christ to smear the salves of His body and blood onto our souls. So, friend, let us heed the depthness of this gospel and recognize the power of God's love continue to create in us the clear light of salvation for us to see our own mission to serve God faithfully. And here is a family activity. Before you go to Mass this weekend and with your family, pray for Jesus to open your eyes and embrace your faith. At Mass, concentrate on the words of the Creed. Show Jesus your belief by bounding, professing faith in Him. God bless, and see you at Mass.